Hey guys, and welcome back. We are the Horror Junkies.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Kyle, and this is going to be episode 2 of what we're calling is the Gory Details. Now, if you remember from last episode, and if you didn't go watch last episode, I recommend you go watch that now. Maybe like, comment, maybe tickle that subscribe button. See if you like what you see, then come back and watch this movie. But to kind of rehash, we're gonna basically got every horror movie in my collection on this randomizer. We're gonna spin that wheel. We're gonna go watch it. Then we'll come back, have a sit down chat with you guys, and we'll get into the gory details of that movie. Anything you want to add there?
Watch it.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin the wheel this time, and then we'll see what we got. My sound's off. Alright guys, so we are going to watch the movie called Trick or Treat. This is not the anthology one you're thinking about. This is kind of a rock and roll horror movie with Gene Simmons in it. The cover has Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne on it, and they're both in it for about 5 seconds. But all in all, it's a good movie. So I guess we'll talk about it when we get back, because we got to watch it. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm kind of excited to see this one. You ever seen this one, Jeff?
No, I was like, what?
It's pretty good. So it's a great movie for us metalheads. So if you got any more metalheads out there, this movie's for you guys. So we'll be back. Thank you guys. Alright, you guys, and we're back. If you guys don't remember, we are the Horror Junkies.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Kyle. Pretty much what we just got done watching is Trick or Treat. It's from 1986. This movie's kind of funny because if you can see this cover, it talks how it's starring Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne. Definitely a good selling point. I can't complain there. But both of them are in this movie for about... I mean, Ozzy's in this less than Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons at least got, I want to say, 5 minutes of film time.
Something like that, yeah.
And then Ozzy Osbourne seriously has like, I want to say, seconds.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's on there for a full minute.
He's on a TV too. You don't really actually like see him in person in any of the scenes. He's just there, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it's so Gene Simmons is kind of like a radio guy, and so like a radio personnel. I guess I know the word instead of guy, but so he's kind of got a cool character. And then Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, you don't even see that he has long hair. So these pictures on this cut case don't even resemble what they look like. Because Ozzy's got, like, it looks like he's got short hair, but you can tell he just put his hair back. And he's kind of like a liberal, I want to say priest almost.
Yeah.
He was a holy man. So that's kind of weird. So, Jeff, if you want to go ahead and talk about the movie a little bit. Kind of your feelings on it.
This wasn't exactly what I was expecting going into it when we were watching it. Like, in the beginning, like, I thought it was going to take a much darker turn. You know, because
they definitely tried.
Definitely, but it definitely went in a different direction than I was expecting because, like, you know, these kids are picking on him and everything, and so I thought he was totally going to go, like, revenge style and pick them off one by one and kill them. And that is not what happened at all. And it took a really, like, it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing I liked most about it.
It's lighthearted for a horror movie, like you said.
It's kind of like Gremlins.
Yeah.
It's like, it can be a horror movie, but it's really silly and fun at the same time.
Exactly.
And I dug that. It was cool. And it was pretty funny, too. And I like the music aspect of it, how it's, like, metal and all that stuff.
That always helps when it's our style of music.
Right, that helps. So that's always
We
fun.
see enough movies with that other kind of music that we're not into that much.
Right.
But you guys, for you guys that probably haven't seen this movie, I'll go ahead and kind of give you the whole kind of structure of this movie. Hopefully I'm not going to kill our time here, but basically, this kid, the main kid, his name is Edward, Eddie, whatever you want to go with. He's obsessed with this rock and roll musician. He actually goes to the same high school that this guy graduated from, so he's really obsessed with him. It's his favorite musician. He's got all his stuff. He's me with Kiss, basically. But I'm not. I don't write them letters. This guy writes them letters and everything. The musician's Sammy Kerr, so it's not a musician that's in our real world. This is just made up for this movie, which is fine. And this kid always getting picked on for being the only metalhead in school. And eventually we find out that Sammy Kerr dies. And that's kind of where this whole story really kind of picks up, because he's also friends with Gene Simmons' character, the radio personnel. Gene Simmons' character, his name is Nuke, and he gives him the last record that this musician made before he died. And that's pretty much where this movie really picks up, because after he gets that record, basically what I kind of got from it, with the record, he basically what word am I looking for? He brought this guy's spirit back to life. Like, I'm not saying he brought a corpse back to life. He brought his spirit back to life by playing this record backwards. So it's kind of demonic. He's kind of a demon. He can kind of flow through electricity. He can kind of come out through radios and stuff like that. I mean, without getting too in-depth and crazy with the details here, you guys, that's basically what this movie is. This rocker's just out, and he's basically killing people. I would not classify this movie as a slasher movie, because it's really not knife, axe, pickaxe, nothing like that. Yeah. He's like, it's mostly like electricity and people like poofing into nothing.
Yeah.
But I mean, without going too far, that's basically what this movie's about. Jeff, you want to go ahead and talk about your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was when he's in the cafeteria after he goes to the pool party, and they fucked with him and threw him in the pool with the plate in his backpack, which is really fucked up. And he like smashes this kid's lunch in his face, and then they just start chasing him, just because like this one guy, he like trying to be like fucking cool because there's people carrying like chairs through the hallway, and he like tries to like butt slide across it, fucking lands on his ass. And then there's another part, he knocks over a mop bucket, and this dude just beelines down a flight of stairs, and I was like, that dude's dead already. Like, there's no way he survived that. But I think that was my favorite part. I dug that.
Yeah. On to me, you guys, with my favorite part. My favorite part's a little sexy, but I liked it because so the kid basically, he makes a copy of the record and gives it to the bully Tim, which I didn't really talk about before. But yeah, this guy Tim specifically picks on Eddie. So Eddie makes him a tape, and he's like, this is a peace offering, listen to it. So Tim and his girl are getting a little sexy in the back of the car. You know, kids do that back then. I mean, it's a little different now, because we just sit in cars now and just text. We don't even talk to people anymore. But they're getting sexy. Tim has to pee. We all know, as guys, it happens. So he goes out of the car, pees. She's bored, so she looks through his tape collection, finds the tape. She listens to it that Eddie gave him, and you can see in the headphones this little green light comes on, and then all this green, I want to say smoky light comes out.
Yeah. And
like it starts just making her like, oh, she's horned up now. She's feeling it. She's moaning like a ghost. Like, that's not the scary part, but she's going for it. You kind of see it's like it's getting her to take her clothes off. It's pretty much getting her all heated up. And then before you know it, she's in the heat of the moment. She's pretty much naked. She's just in panties. You get some titties in this scene, which is always nice. She opens up her eyes, and there's this like demon from hell with a long tongue just comes out of nowhere. So I thought that part was kind of funny. And this guy looks like something from Spawn. I don't know if you guys have watched Spawn, but it's definitely a weird out of nowhere demon. But man, it was definitely really cool. Tim kind of comes out of nowhere. And as far as gore, I know we're trying to get into the gory details here, but there's really zero to no gore in this movie. The goriest part is after Tim gets back to the girl, after she's kind of like passed out or whatever, he pulls the headphones off of her head, and it's like her ears were melted to him. So that was like literally the most gruesome part in this movie. But man, I just, as silly as it is for like smoky stuff to kind of just come in the car and freaking just basically rape this girl, is just it was a little interesting to me. That's probably a little morbid of a favorite part, but I liked it more as a laugh than anything else.
Yeah.
So I'm not as morbid as it sounds.
It was definitely meant to be, funny, not like super serious or uncomfortable.
Yeah. You guys kind of going to lead into the body count, but there's a little something I want to talk about it first. This end of the movie I kind of talked to Jeff about it, kind of has a Carrie feel. At the end of the movie, she gets the blood dumped on her, and she goes crazy and starts killing everybody in the gym. So they're in the gym. Sammy Kerr's there. He's gonna start playing music, and he's shredding, man. It sounds great. And then probably about, I want to say 8 kills of him just shooting electricity out of the guitar, and they just gone.
Yeah, they just vaporize.
They just kind of poof. Well, so whether they're gone or in some metal hell that we don't know about.
I don't even think there was like ashes. I was about to say it was like the 1960s Batman movie when they just like dehydrate all the politicians into little piles of like brightly colored chalk.
Yeah, like we see them, like we see like shreds of their clothes, but pretty much we don't really see much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like, there's a few special kills, if you want to talk about one of those, Jeff.
Yeah, there's, one where there's a lady who's like a parent, teacher, committee leader or something.
A square.
Yeah. And, the Sammy Kerr guy, like, comes out of a speaker, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes out of a speaker, and he, like, grabs her throat through the television screen. She's talking on the TV, and he pulls her out, and then she's just like a giant pile of ashes. So I mean, that was kind of cool, but yeah.
It's like there's not too many special. Like I said, pretty much all the deaths take place in the gym, and they just poof, just like everything else. The other one is the bully Tim. He kind of dies pretty cool. Like Sammy comes out of nowhere, gets him pressed up against the wall, choking him. And then so somehow he reaches down to like the floor to reach an outlet, and he kind of electrocutes him that way. So it was kind of a metal way to go if you want that kind of kill.
Yeah.
Like I said, nothing really special, no knives or anything. So I would definitely not declare this a slasher movie. I would call this just metal horror, basically.
Pretty much.
Like demon almost.
Yeah.
Demonic.
It's just a fun movie. Like,
yeah. Like, I could definitely say, like, it's definitely got rewatch value with me. I mean, I've watched this movie quite a while, for quite a few times, but I put it in my Kiss collection since Gene Simmons is in it, so I figured so it's been hidden to me for a long time. So the fact that this came up today, I couldn't be happier about it. I was really happy to revisit this movie. So, Jeff, you want to talk about your rating, what you'd rate this movie?
Like, as far as just, like, being, like, just a fun movie to watch, just a good, like, 80s era movie, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because I really liked it, and it's definitely got some rewatch value. It's a good one. Definitely.
I can definitely agree with you. You don't make any bad points, you guys. I remember the first time I watched this, I went out and bought the soundtrack immediately. Still, I don't have it anymore, but man, I love this movie. It's definitely right up there with me because it's metal. You don't see too many movies like this. I really wish that Shout Factory would get a piece of this movie and get a re-release, maybe get some features. And as you can see on the menu, it says Play Movie and Scene Index. So, we need a re-release of this movie. But for me, like Jeff said, this movie has great rewatch value. It's fun to watch. It's one of those movies, like, you could put on in the background, you could go do stuff, you know what's going on. So, I mean, it's got that aspect, but I mean, sitting down and watching it is always great. So I'm probably going to give it, I'm going to go with Jeff, you guys, an 8 out of 10 on this one. Because, like, it's got great characters. None of them were annoying. The bully was great. I felt like the nerdy friend was cool. You had great blends of, like, lots of different characters. The atmosphere of being in high school, I love high school movies, you guys. Like, when they go to college, things just get, I feel like with college, there's too much everywhereness.
Yeah.
But in high school, you're in one building. There's not many places to go. And we all know there. We've all been to high school. Right. Not everyone goes to college.
The nostalgia factor is up there.
Definitely.
It's a good one. I like that.
So, like, 8 for me and an 8 for Jeff. So, definitely, you guys, if you guys haven't seen this movie, we definitely recommend it. Trying to find it might be a little interesting, but, I mean, not too hard. I don't think it's on Netflix or anything, so you might have to look for it a little hard. Alright, guys, but that kind of is a wrap on episode 2 of the Gory Details. I know our show is called the Gory Details, and there wasn't much gore in this movie, but it's a great movie, so I can't really say anything bad about it. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for us. We're the Horror Junkies.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Kyle. And be excellent to each other.
Party on, dudes.
You guys have a good one.